What up everyone, Chris coming to you from Salty Island Games, and it's week 2 and we're playing Warcry. So last week we went over spending money. This week we flexed some hobby muscles, got some painting done. So of the 5 people who started the challenge, we've got some updates this week. 3 of the 5 got the miniatures for their warbands painted. One of them changed the warband that they were playing because they didn't really feel the gameplay was their style. And the last person decided to start building an entire table themed after their warband, because that's what happens when there's no conventions to go to. So Clint from Snickernack Studios decided to paint up Gloomspite kits. And on top of that, he also decided to try out Games Workshop's contrast paints for the first time. And to emphasize the benefit of contrast paints, he did do the entire force in one night of gaming, so about 3 or 4 hours. So for anyone out there who just needs to get that army done, contrast paints. He's got 4 Boeing Grot bouncers and 1 Grot shooter. Now I wouldn't say that this is his greatest work, however, this paint job is good enough to get you 10 points, so no excuse not to get your army done. Next up, Rana's playing the Unmade. Now she's brand new to the hobby, and for anyone who's never painted miniatures before, she did get these done in a week. She used a mix of contrast paints and then some normal paints and inks. So for someone who's been painting miniatures for less than a month, I think that these turned out really well. In my opinion, contrast paints are a good tool to have in the toolbox. So new or experienced painters, I do encourage you to give them a try out. I don't think that they are the one-stop paint shop that GW advertise, but I do think it is a great tool to use for specific situations. Now this is the entire box from the Unmade Force, so even if you are brand new, Rana did manage to paint these in a week, which furthers my belief that Warcry is a great introduction to tabletop gaming. Third, we've got my Tzeentch Demons. So I went ahead and I painted these using more traditional paint styles, straight out of Duncan's old paint tutorial videos. It is a little slower, but I do think they turned out pretty decent. Again, anyone new out there, I always feel like people use painting as a hurdle about why they don't want to get in or why they can't get their models done. But I do want to encourage everyone that it's not that big of a deal as it seems, and it's not that rough. And this warband I painted shows that you don't need every model painted to be master painted level for it to look great on the tabletop and play a few games. So with this army, we've got 1 iridescent pink horror, 3 pink horrors, 1 screamer, 1 flamer, 1 exalted flamer, and I also did paint up 4 blue horrors that's not in the picture for use when the pink horrors do their splitting trick. Now you might be wondering what the other 2 have been up to. So in the week, we did play a handful of games to learn the rules and get an idea about the list building before we dove into painting. Josh realized that he wasn't that big of a fan of the ogres. They do hit really hard, they were tanky as hell, but they were also slow, and the low model count kept him from being able to be as effective in some of the missions as he wanted. But finally, he did settle on Stormcast Eternals, so look forward to seeing some Sigmarines on the table in the future. Shai, on the other hand, put some primer on his Bone Reapers, and then promptly got distracted building terrain. Now, I wish I had more updated pictures for you, but the picture here is the first one and it's very early stage. He's currently printing out some 3D tiles, making a walkway path, making some nice scatter terrain. Pretty hyped to see the board finished. So for now, he can get a pass on not painting that army. For now. So next step, we're going to be getting some games in. Do appreciate you checking in. Will Josh and Shai be able to get their miniatures painted? Will Tony go ahead and buy another warband even though we know he's got some completed? Hit the like and subscribe to get answers to these questions that no one asked for but have now been thrown out there. Thanks for watching.